Hey guys, and welcome back to your one room schoolhouse. If you're new here, my name is Mary Barfield and I'm a homeschooling mama to a kindergartner and a second grader. And we are in our last week of homeschooling for this current school year, 2024 to 2025. And since we are year-round homeschoolers, that means that we are quickly approaching the first day of school for next school year, 2025 to 2026, meaning I will soon have a first grader and a third grader. I cannot believe how fast the time is going. We will be moving into our third year of homeschooling, and it feels like we just started yesterday. It's incredible how fast the time flies. So you know that your girl is in full planning mode right now. I am getting everything together for next school year to include, I am planning all the things, and I thought this would be a wonderful time for me to share with you guys what I'm using for my homeschool planner for next year. So if you watched any of my previous videos, you know I've used a few different things for planning over the last 2 years to include, I've used Trello as my homeschool planner, which I have now determined that online planning is just not for me in this season of life, maybe in the future, but right now it's just not something I can do at this time. So I'm a good old paper and pen planner at this point. And over the last 2 years, I have used different versions of Emmeline Bloom planners. You can find them on Amazon. I'll link her shop down below on Amazon. It's a very economically priced planner. I think they're maybe $10. I mean, it's crazy. They're only $10, but they kind of remind me of the School Nest minimalist homeschool planner, but maybe a little bit more minimalist. And so that's been a really great option for us over the last 2 years. I really like the layout of the week schedule, the month, etc. The only thing is that at this time, she has not listed a 2025 to 2026 homeschool planner. So I don't know if she's going to create one or if she's just taken a year off. She does have her undated planners available online. So if you are interested in checking out her stuff, she's still got those available. But I actually decided to do something different this year. I realized that Emmeline Bloom's planner was working about 90% of the way for me, but then there was a lot of things that I wanted to add in that weren't there. There was a few pages that were superfluous that I wanted to take out, but I couldn't because it was a bound planner. So I was like, you know what if I customize and DIY my own planner? However, I don't think I'm necessarily creative enough, nor do I have the time or mental capacity to create a planner from scratch. I'm not there. Maybe one day I will. So what I did was I started searching all around it, and specifically on Etsy, and I found a really cool shop on Etsy called Wild Sonora. I'll link the shop down below for you guys to go check out her stuff. She definitely leans towards more of a Charlotte Mason style with her products that she has. And specifically what I loved, beyond the fact that her products were beautiful and I really liked the layout of some of it, her planner is editable, meaning I can go in and edit it. So I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not reinventing the wheel. It was literally like perfect. It was meant to be. I also loved the cover options she had in the planner file. I'll link the specific planner product I purchased down below. It came with 3 different cover options, which means I can use this over the next 3 years and have a different cover for each year and be fun and eclectic. She also has other files where you can buy additional covers for like $1, to print off. Oh, and mind you, the whole entire file is only $8. Like it's insane to me that it's so cheap, and she offers that up. Like, what a blessing. So I went ahead and purchased it. Now, I will say, if you want to go down this route, if you want to do something like this, you don't need to be super tech savvy, but you need to at least have somewhat of an understanding of how Canva works. Because the file does open up in Canva, and if you want to edit it, you need to understand what the basic functions and tools of Canva are and how you can like change fonts or move lines around or things like that. So I know I'm rambling. I just want to give you all the upfronts in what the deal is with this planner. Before I turn the camera around, I will get you into the planner, don't you worry. But I just also want to preface and let you guys know that if what you are looking at with the planner when I flip the camera around is not how she has it laid out exactly. I used her pages and maybe tweaked about 10% of it. So it was actually pretty close. I didn't have to tweak too much, but there were a few things like in the week planner I had to change. just to meet my needs. And then with the calendar, she originally had it on one page. I spread it out over 2 pages so I have more space to write on the monthly calendar portion, because I kind of have big handwriting. I mean, I can get small if I need to, but I don't like to. And then I added a few things in that she just didn't have. Like I created a holiday list in there. I'll show you this when I flip it around. But overall, it pretty much had almost everything I needed. Like I said, it was about 90% of the way there, and then I was able to tweak and customize it so that it was exactly what I needed. So I just felt like that had to be the best option for me moving forward. It was like the Goldilocks, you know, it was almost already complete for me, and then I was able to tweak it the rest of the way to get it to what I needed. So I didn't have to spend hours upon hours creating this, and this wonderful woman did it for us. The other thing that I want to mention, and I'll kind of do I'll do like a screenshot and kind of slide through and show you what other pages there are. I didn't use all the pages that she offered in the file. She had like, I think a meal planning one, a term overview, a curriculum planning page. I didn't need all that, so I didn't include it. So I didn't print it off. That's the great part. You can pick and choose what you need. So there's a whole lot more in this planner that she offers in the file. I just wanted to make that clear. There's so much more to it. I just didn't use all the pages because I just didn't need them. But that's the beauty of it, right? She gives you everything you need. It's like a Charlotte Mason feast. You pick and take what you need. So enough rambling. I think I've kind of hit the high points. I want to show you the planner first really quickly before I turn the camera around. She is so pretty, y'all. Look at that beautiful, oh my gosh, I love the antique blue with the antique yellow and beige. I laminated the front and the back cover, so it's got a lot of staying power. This won't get worn out over the year. I use my Pro Click binding system, so this spine I can pop open and add in or take out pages if I need to. I also use these tabs. I'll link everything down below that I can. I use these little tabs here to show where pages are so I can get to them easily. So I've got all my months back here, and then I've got resource planning tabs, term 1, term 2 overview. I have a current month tab that I'll move as I move from month to month. And I have a current week tab that I can put to the tab so I can just pull to the page that I want to be on. I love this. I love the other 2 cover options too, and I will be using them over the next 2 years. They're beautiful, so don't knock those either. They're wonderful. I can't wait to show you them as well. The other thing that I thought was really cool is that I was able to kind of coordinate my kids' binders by using the same files but editing the text, because she lets you do that. And I was able to make this for each of my daughter on the side and then the back. So we all have pretty matching resource binders slash notebooks, planners, whatever. All right, so I'm gonna turn this camera around. I'm gonna get you inside of the planner and I'm gonna flip it through. Also note my next video, I'm going to actually do a planning with me type video in the planner. We are truly like, I mean, we're rocking and rolling here. Being a year-round homeschooler, you jump from one school year to the next. So I was gonna go ahead and already pre-plan out our first week of school, get it written into the planner, so that's just one less thing on my plate. I can just forget about it and feel at ease rolling into next school year. So I'm gonna do that in my next video with you guys, show you how I'm gonna use the planner. And I just felt like that was a really good idea because I've realized for me, I can't plan more than a week ahead. If I do, something always changes, something always gets moved around. I do use erasable pens and highlighters and all that stuff, but I can't plan more than a week ahead without me going, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to rewrite a couple of weeks of homeschool planning because, you know, something changed. So I plan the weekend before the following week that I'm about to do homeschooling for. I write it in the planner, and if something moves, I can erase and move things around, but then I just rinse and repeat and do the next week. I have an overall high-level curriculum plan, of course, in my planner, which I will show you here in a second, but I don't plan the individual days within the week until the weekend before. So I'm gonna do that in my next video. So if you love plan with me type videos, keep an eye out for that. But without further ado, let's get into the planner. All right, y'all, here is the homeschool planner. Like I said, I laminated the front cover, so it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. And I bound it at home with my Pro Click binder. So here, let's open up to the first page. So here I have our homeschool name, Sage Academy. Sage, the reason we named it that is because sage is wisdom, it's knowledge, but also it is our dog's name, our husky that you always see in the back of my videos. So I thought that was kind of a fun double meaning. But I left this page blank here. And the reason being is because I always take pictures of my daughters in the fall, and I print them out on my HP Sprocket like photo sticker thing, and I put them here, and it's kind of a little collage page for us that I kind of like to look at. The next page I have is a year at a glance. So these are just what's going on in the year. I'm going to put birthdays in here. I'm going to put special events if we're planning on any kind of travel. I'm going to throw those in here. The big ticket items I'm going to put in here. If you watched my recent video where I plan for the year annually, just to understand when our breaks are, when we're starting our first day of school, which is July 21st, our last day of school, etc. I printed this page off actually from papertraildesign.com. It's a free printable. I just like the way she lays it out. I love the watercolor aspect to it. So rather than reinventing the wheel, I just print off hers, and I always include it in my planner. Now, I did have an original schedule, and I've still left it here just in case we decide to revert back to this, where we started a week later and ended a week earlier. I know that sounds contradictory, but it's because we did less breaks within the year. I have both options here. My plan is to do this one, but if we decide that's not a good fit, I can revert back to my original plan. So I have both calendars in here for the planner. This is a page within the planner file that I created from her fonts and the way that the other stuff is laid out. She did not have this in here. And I just really like being able to see 2025, 2026, the major holidays. This isn't every holiday, but it's all the big ticket ones. And I like knowing when the first day of spring, summer, and autumn and winter is. So I wanted to include that in here. This I actually got from my Emmeline Bloom planner. That's something I love that she includes in her planners. So I wanted to recreate that in this planner. My next pages are my curriculum resource planners, or resource pages. I color code my girls. So my youngest daughter, Charlotte, is purple. My youngest daughter is, oh my gosh, why can't I talk? My oldest daughter is pink, Emery. And then group subjects that we're doing together is in kind of a greenish color. I'm not going to go through all of the curriculum because I've talked about this a lot in my previous videos, but these are individual subjects. These individual subjects here, and then things that we're going to do together. So math, phonics, handwriting. I'm doing the mini poems from Blossom and Root with my youngest daughter from level 1. We're doing our language arts with McGuffey Primer. She's doing her own science with Little Hearts and Hands from The Good and the Beautiful, piano and logic with Mindbenders. My oldest is doing her math, spelling with McGuffey, handwriting, grammar with First Language Lessons. She's going to be doing writing and rhetoric. For writing, she's doing her own version of a health elective with American Girl books. We're doing vocabulary through word roots. She's doing her own science through elemental science, grammar, biology, and then piano and logic as well. And then the big highlights are we're doing ancient history, American history stream 2. So we're doing 2 streams of history at the same time, but this is very spread out. This will be very light and easy. We're also doing poetry, Spanish, nature study through Simple Studies. We're doing geography through Holling C. Holling books that I got off Ambleside Online. Arts and music, we're doing Blossom and Root, Art Level 0, alongside of the Ambleside Online folk songs. My girls love the folk songs from them. Handicrafts, we're going to be reading a story each week from the Jesus Storybook Bible. It ties in well with our ancient history, but also I just think it's important to know the stories from the Bible from a historical perspective, from a pop culture perspective, whether you're secular or religious. I think it's just good to know them. And then I also included some units down here that we will be doing, some for the summer and some at Christmas. Next, I have an attendance tracker. I actually track my girls collectively because at this point they're so young that we just do everything together. If one of them is sick and the other isn't, guess what? Nobody's doing school. So if one's doing school, the other's doing school. If one's not, the other's not. So I just track them all individually or all together. Our actual North Carolina state laws do not require us to track individual days. That is just for me and my personal knowledge and reference. I target 180 days per year, and we will surpass that. Here is a field trip tracker page. I like to just kind of keep track of what we've done field trip wise. We're going to plan a trip to the North Carolina Zoo. This time we're going to start in Africa because we only got through the North America continent last time and we missed out on all the goodies from Africa. So we're going to do that. They are also, I think by next year, going to have the Asia continent section opened up. So that'll be super fun to go to. So I think we're going to be going to the zoo a lot this school year. We've also got curriculum trackers here. I just like to write in the lessons for like math, science, things like that. And I like to X them out and highlight them and say, hey, we've gotten this much, this done, this so far. And it just kind of keeps us motivated to keep going. So I've got a page for my youngest daughter, Charlotte, and a page for my oldest daughter, Emery. And then 2 more pages for overflow and group subjects that I want to track. And then I've got a page for notes if I just need to write down some stuff. I've got schedule and resources here, which you notice these pages match, again, the same motif on the front cover. And then I've got these tabs, which help me get to them quickly. So I've already done a test weekly schedule. I'm not going to show that because I will do that next in my next video. So I'm going to hold tight on showing that to you. I printed off my timetable. This is just something rudimentary I did in my Word, or Pages is what they call it on Mac. Showing what our timetable, our flow for the weekly should look like. So I've got that for reference when I'm planning. I also have my daughter's first grade weekly rhythm for her core subjects here. It just helps me kind of see, does this flow work? This might change, but this is what we're going to start out with and see how that works. I then have my oldest daughter's 3rd grade schedule. She has a weekly rhythm for weeks when she does writing and rhetoric. And then she has a weekly rhythm for those weeks that she does not do writing and rhetoric, because writing and rhetoric is not going to be done weekly. She'll do it 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week off in order to complete the 2 books over the first year. So that leaves space extra for other things to be done. So that's why I created 2 different flows for her, so that on the weeks that she's not doing writing and rhetoric, she'll do another 2 lessons of McGuffey, like that kind of stuff, more vocab, that kind of thing. And here I have some resource pages for our geography reads. So Tree in the Trail, Hauling, Sea Hauling. I've got the maps that would be good for reference. This is the map this is the map they're going to be filling out. And here's the key for it so I can help them fill it out better. I have it for Seabird, which is the other geography book we're going to be doing. And then the maps that they're going to be working on. I have a visual list of our free reads that we can check off as we read them. And the girls will just alternate picking which free read we're doing. This will be something we're doing at night or in the afternoons just for fun to read. So if Emery, my oldest, decides to pick Mary Poppins the first time, once we're done with that, my youngest might pick Nim's Island, and we'll go from there. And these are other books that I've purchased or have access through the library. And they're from, Ambleside Online recommendation, Build Your Library, I think Blossom and Root. They're books just from a bunch, but most of them I think are from Ambleside Online free read list. And then I have term 1. So I have a tab for term 1, term 2, and then term 3. So within each of these tabs, I have a notes page. I have our overall calendar for all of our curriculum laid out for the term. Term 1 is weeks 1 through 12, and I have that all written so I can reference that when I am planning out our week by week. And here's the back of it, individual subjects. And then I also have a read aloud tracker. And my plan with this, hopefully I'll stick to it, is to print out a tiny little picture of the book that we read. And I'm going to glue it down here and we're going to give it a rating, and that's it. We're going to walk away from it. We'll discuss it. We'll talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, but this will just be a visual reminder of what we got done that term, which I think will be nice. And then I also have an independent reading log for my oldest daughter, because she is a voracious reader. She's reading like crazy, and I want to keep track of how she does. If my youngest starts really picking up the reading and wants to do independent reading, I will absolutely start including pages for her as well. That's the beauty of having a customized planner. I can pop the binding open, put in new sheets, and add things as needed, which I love. Term 2 is no different. Same information. I just don't have the term printed out yet for the curriculum layout in here yet, because I just don't want to print it yet because I might change things. You never know. So rather than waste the paper and ink, I haven't printed it out yet. I've got the independent reading log, term 3, same layout. And this was all stuff that was included in the planner file that I loved. I didn't tweak any of this. And then we have calendars. So here we're getting into the actual months. So in her original file, she just has the month calendar like this. And then nothing else over here. So just pretend that's not there. She has it like this, and the boxes are a lot smaller to fit 7 across. I really love a full 2-page spread for my monthly. It just makes a lot more sense to me. I can write a lot more in each box if necessary. And then I also left a spot over here for notes. So I really like how this layout turned out. I'm really happy with it. And then when we move from July to August, I'll take this tab off that says current month and move it to the August month so I can easily find my spot in the planner if I want to look at the monthly snapshot. After that, we have the current week. And again, we'll move this tab to week as we move through the weeks. So this is what I edited, I don't know why that's so hard to say, heavily. Now, I will say on screen, this is coming through the paper a lot more than in person, and I don't know why. Like, it does not look like these lines right here. I can see it on the screen, but if I look down at the table, I don't see that line as much. So I use 24-pound paper. Be prepared if that is going to be irritating to you. Go with a thicker paper when you're printing. 32-pound is, I've heard, the Mac Daddy, but it gets expensive and I'm on a budget. So this is where I tweaked the most things to make it work for us. I think originally she had a morning basket thing here, and then she had folk song. She had artists that you're studying, composer. You could write the weekly composer and artist. Like, she had a lot of Charlotte Mason stuff here, which I actually really loved when I was really gung-ho about following strictly the Charlotte Mason methodology. But when I decided to kind of pull back a teensy bit from that and have Charlotte Mason be a part of my homeschooling, not be my homeschooling, I decided it made more sense for me to have smaller boxes for Saturday and Sunday rather than give them a full column over here. And I liked having I like putting my dinners in my homeschool planner, because the girls will always ask, what's for dinner tonight? And I'll be like, I have no idea. I can't remember what I said. What's on the board in the kitchen? Well, it's not easy to see always. So I like writing it here. And then just any additional random notes there. I put the dates up here because, as you can see, I haven't put the actual numbers in here because it's easier to print that way. And I've written in these too. I didn't put the numbers in. This is my handwriting. I just found that it was easier to print it off, and I can write in the dates as needed. I can put the term and the week up here. And then I have my weekdays all in big, they all get their own big columns. So up here, I decided to keep my girls' core subjects in one box. It just seems, I'll show you my plan with me video next week. It just seems to work the best for me because I color code my girls. So I'll put my youngest up here in purple and write her activities for math and language arts, and any like random electives, I'll put that up here. And then the second half of the box is for my oldest daughter, and she'll be in pink, and you'll know whose is whose. And then the next box is what I call our morning time subjects. It's our poetry, our geography, nature study, anything, Spanish, that kind of stuff is in our morning time slot. And I also put these in order of how we do our subjects every day, which kind of helps the way my brain organizes things. That kind of helped me. And then next we would do our U.S. history stream, any of that curriculum, ancients next. Science, and then activities is if we've got a sports activity, an appointment. If I like to kind of track my workouts, I'll write them at the bottom down here. I'll write like, I did core and lower body, or I'll just, it's just any mommy stuff I put down here as well. And this seems to make the most sense layout wise for my homeschool planner. And I printed off all the weeks I need for July, and I know, which seems silly because I'm not doing a lot of school in July, but I'm doing some. And I printed out all the things, all the weeks I need for August. So far for September, I've only printed off 1 week. It's the back of this calendar and the back of this calendar. And I've done that for all the rest of the months. I didn't print out all of them because I wanted to wait and make sure, like, sit with this layout for a month or two and use it and make sure that I like the way it is and not tweak it, which again, it's great that you can do that because it's a customizable file. So I want to hang out with this for a little bit, use it for 6 weeks before I make the determination that I want to print out the rest of the planner. But I really, really, really like the way that this came out. It meets all my needs. I'm so sorry if you guys hear my kiddos giggling in the background. You can probably hear them. They're having a good time. I can't get too mad at them. But I'm really happy with how this all came together. I love the layout. I think this is going to work really well for us. I can add in or take out anything that isn't working for us. I just feel so amazing about this. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. All right, y'all, really quickly before we sign out of this video, I did want to share with you a quick overview of what it would look like if you purchased this specific file and you wanted to edit it to be your own homeschool planner. So it will open up in Canva. This is Canva if you've never seen it. I'll link it down below if you guys want to go check out the free version of it. And I think you only need the free version to edit this. But so you'll get all the pages listed. I have edited it in a way that I have multiple pages here listed. This is basically if I export page 1 through, I think it's like, hold on, let me go all the way down. Sorry, guys. If I export it 1 through 162 as a file and I print it from front to back, it'll be my exact planner the way it's laid out. All my weekly pages will be there too. But then what I've done is all the additional pages she included in the file, I left at the bottom, and I want to kind of go through those really quickly with you. Here she has, let's click into this one. She has a little note to you. Hey, homeschool mama, duplicate the pages as many times as you need, delete the pages you don't need. She was like, here's an easy way to edit, add, fix the text, etc. So she's basically like, here is the best and easiest way I can, give you the ability to create your dream homeschool planner. So I think that's wonderful that she's given that to us. So I think that was such a nice note she includes in it. Right up front, she includes the different covers, which I love this one. So I think I might do this one next year. And then obviously any individual sections that you want to do that you can match the front and then the back cover. This is the third cover that she includes that I really like as well. It kind of reminds me of like Florida. And then she has like this little guy. I mean, there's just so many pages. This is the original calendar that she had that I turned into the 2-page spread. So you can keep this as it is, or you could kind of do something like I did. Here, I'm going to pull it back out to the zoomed out mode so we're not going through that. She's got all of the monthly pages here. She's got looking ahead. She's got a holiday and festival planning one, monthly goals, quarterly goals. You can see there's just so much in here. If you like to do a quarterly report or a term report, if you want to put a website and password tracker in there, scope and sequence, you can see there was so much in here that I just ended up not including. I mean, she gives you multiple options for a reading log. I did the read aloud tracker and I used the independent reading log. If you want to do a mother's academia and do a mother's reading log in your planner, you can. Physical activities. I mean, look, so many options for the weekly schedule, so many that were different than the one I chose. You could do a daily subjects like this, loop subjects, language arts. Here's something similar to the one that I kind of chose to do. This was the original spread I think I had. And here, I'll show you the second page. So she had like weekly hymn, art piece. You could do a composer spot. For if you're a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, you could do something like that. Let me back out again so you can see all the options. So many different layouts, y'all. So many options. So I just really thought that was important to share with you all the alternative pages that you could have included in your planner that I didn't, just so you knew what was included in the file. Again, all of this for $8. I am shooketh. Like, what an amazing gift. All right, y'all, I hope that was super helpful getting a look inside of my planner. If you're somebody like me who's always been interested in doing a customized homeschool planner, but you're like, oh, I don't want to start from scratch. I don't even know where to start. This is a really solid option. It's a beautiful planner aesthetically, but it's also really well laid out. And if something doesn't quite fit the way you want it to, the best part is you can edit it. So I would definitely go check out Wild Sonora's Etsy shop. It's got a lot of wonderful things, specifically the planner that I shared with you. If you have any questions about any of it, leave it down in the comments. You know, I'm always happy to answer y'all's questions. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next Plan With Me video. Bye, y'all.